welcome back to Good Vibras. What is up? I hope you guys are doing well, and I hope you had an amazing week and are enjoying your weekend. I am happy that it's the weekend because this week was crazy. So it's always nice to have the weekends to relax and reset. If you guys tuned into last week's episode, you already know what this episode is going to be about today because I mentioned that I was going to do 25 things I've learned so far. My birthday was August 10th, this past Tuesday. And I mentioned in the last podcast episode how whenever it's like the time around my birthday, I always take that time to like reflect and just think about like, you know, what I've gone through, who I've become, and who do I want to become going forward in the new age, and so on. So I was like, let me do an episode on the 25 things I've learned so far. So that is today's episode, and I just want to like put this out there now. Some of these things I definitely have mastered, and some of these things I have not. So I am still continuing to learn. But when I sat down and generated this list of 25 things, I literally was just writing things as soon as I thought of them. So it might be a little scattered. It might not be. I don't know. But either way, these are the first 25 things that I thought of immediately once I started thinking about this. So let's jump right into it, and I hope you guys enjoy this episode today. Alrighty, so the first thing that came to mind when I thought of like what I've learned so far was learning to be present in the moment. I always find myself worrying about the future or like the next day, and I lose sight of being present like in today. Like, okay, what is today going to bring me? What are the exciting things I'm going to do today? Instead, I'm always thinking of, okay, I have to get this done today, and then what am I going to do tomorrow? How am I going to prep for Sunday? How am I going to get ready for the week? Like, I'm always thinking of the future, even like, oh my gosh, okay, when am I going to meet the one? When am I going to get married? When am I going to have kids? Like, I'm sure some of you can relate to this as well. Just getting so caught up in worrying about the future, thinking of what I have to get done. And it's almost like I'm just crossing off things off the list. And I realized, you know, okay, it's all good to have like to-do lists and get things done, but like, are you taking time to sit and just look at nature, observe the trees, observe, you know, the little things around you, simple things, you know, that you could forget about? And it wasn't until recently where I realized like I need to stop and breathe for starters and like soak in every moment of each day. You know, I found myself recently looking back at old pictures, and you know how Snapchat has like the memories, like, you know, 3 years ago. Same thing with Facebook, all platforms for the most part. You know, they remind you of what you've done years ago on this day. And I found myself looking back at old pictures, and I was, you know, and I was thinking like, wow, I forgot about this. Like, I wish I enjoyed that moment more, you know? So definitely will say learn to be present in the moment, because life will pass you by. Like, life goes by so quickly. Like, the days are just flying by. And if you don't take the time to be present in the moment, you know, you're going to look back and be like, dang, like I wish I enjoyed those moments more. So definitely learning to be present in the moment is something big that I have learned and I'm continuing to learn. This one is a big one. Stop worrying about things that are out of your control. For the longest time, I let fear take over my life. And again, I guess this kind of sinks in with the first one, you know. I was just anxious about the future and where I was heading, and like always constantly trying to plan and be ahead of the game. And I realized, like, you know, you just waste so much time and energy when you worry. I finally have learned to let go and just to understand that whatever is going to happen is going to happen anyway. So, like, why am I wasting time worrying? You know, I could be doing so many other things. I can be, you know, like I said, enjoying the present moment, or planning goals for myself, or setting goals for myself, or planning things for myself to do, you know, instead of worrying about, oh my gosh, but like, what if this doesn't work out? And it's like, girlfriend, homie, it's gonna work out. Like, there's no need to worry about things that are out of your control. As long as you're doing your part, you don't have to worry about anything, you know, like everything will be taken care of. Like, God already has everything preset for us. So as long as you trust the process and have faith, you know, you can minimize your worrying, because realistically, whatever's going to happen is going to happen, right? So the important thing is doing your part, and everything else is going to work out how it's supposed to. The third thing I've learned, finally, is learning when to say no. And this, I would say within this year, I really understood how important this is. I always, and most people who know me will know, I always say, oh, I feel bad. And I've had people tell me, stop feeling bad. Why do you feel bad? And I'm just like, oh, well, because whatever. And it's like, no, don't feel bad. I would do this with friendships, relationships, work, etc. Like, I would just always feel bad, or felt like, oh, I have to, like, it's just, the right thing to do. Always do the right thing, but also set boundaries. Like, learn when to say no, because people took advantage of that, and people do take advantage of that. And in the end, it left me feeling drained emotionally, mentally, physically. And then finally, I realized it's okay to say no for my mental health and for yours as well. You're not here to please anyone or to live for other people. You're here to take care of you, to be the best version of yourself, to be who God wants you to be. And worrying about what other people are going to say or how they're going to feel is not what it's about, because people who love you and respect you are going to respect you and understand, when you do have those moments when you say, hey, like, I'm just not up for it today. I'm so sorry. I need to take time for myself. Or, no, I'm sorry. I can't do this because I've dedicated myself to sticking to these goals that would throw me off my path, or whatever the case is. No, even in, relationships, set boundaries. Don't let a man force you or a woman force you to do something you don't want to do. That is something that took me a bit to learn, because again, that was my personality. Like, oh, I just feel bad. Like, I don't want them to be upset. No, don't let anyone disrespect you. Me tongue-tied here. Don't let anyone disrespect you or make you feel bad or gaslight you. Stick up for yourself. Learn when to say no and set boundaries, because your mental health is important. It matters. You matter. So definitely, this is a big lesson that I've learned, and I'm still mastering it, but I've gotten so much better, because I used to be the people pleaser. I care too much about how other people feel and wasn't taking care of myself. So definitely a good one that I have gotten so much better at, and definitely one that we all should strive to work on. And this ties in with my fourth one, valuing your feelings and respecting yourself. And as I said before, a negative trait I finally have gotten rid of, is downplaying my emotions and feelings. And this definitely stemmed from my past relationships. There were guys that I dated that they didn't really respect or care about what I had to say. And it led me to hold back. I used to be very open and vocal and expressive, and if something bothered me, I would stand up for myself. And it wasn't until these relationships where it started getting exhausting, and I just felt like it didn't matter what I had to say or how I felt. And it caused me to hold back. And that's also not a good thing either, because I see how it affected me in my in the last few years, where I still felt like, God, doesn't matter, like, what I have to say, like, it is what it is. And it's like, no, your feelings matter, despite what people may say. Like, I had a lot of people gaslight how I felt, and I'm like, no, like, and I'd be like, oh yeah, maybe they're right. No, you know yourself better than anyone else. If you feel some type of way, it's because you should feel some type of way, because it's bothering you, and don't let someone gaslight you or make you think like you're wrong. No, value your feelings. If something's bothering you, you tell that person. Stick up for yourself. It's so important to acknowledge how you feel. When you harbor feelings and don't acknowledge them, it comes out in different ways. And I definitely have seen that in my life. And it's like, no. Like, I'm important just as much as other people's feelings are important. My feelings are important too. So value your feelings and respect yourself. Don't let anyone play with your feelings. Don't let anyone make you feel like you're wrong for how you're feeling, because more than likely you're not wrong. There's a reason why we feel what we do, whether some things trigger us. So find the trigger and address the situation. And then if someone doesn't want to respect you after that point, then to cut them off. But just value your feelings, respect yourself, let yourself feel your emotions and work through them. And don't ever think that how you're feeling is wrong, because most likely it's not. We're all human. We all know right from wrong. But if someone hurts your feelings or something bothers you, don't let anyone hold you back from expressing those feelings, because like I said, people who care about you and love you and support you are going to respect you, because no one's perfect. We make mistakes. But as long as you can communicate with that person, that's the best thing, you know? So always value your feelings, respect yourself, and remove yourself from people and places, situations that aren't going to serve you or accept you. My fifth one is taking time for yourself, disconnecting. This is something that I've actually been working on the last few weeks. I like to keep myself very busy and constantly on the move, constantly doing things, and it definitely catches up to you and it leaves you feeling super exhausted in every way possible. And I finally am learning the importance of disconnecting from my phone, from anything, and just truly taking time for myself. I've gotten back into journaling now, which has helped so much when it comes to my emotions. And I've been working on just staying in my journals. Like I have a meal prep journal and I have a daily to-do journal where I list out like my schedule for the day, tasks that I'm going to accomplish, top priorities for the day, my goals, weekly reviews, just stuff to keep me grounded and have me focus and strive for, you know, the goals that I'm trying to reach. And taking time to read also. I'll go into these a little bit more as we go on, but taking time for yourself is so important. You know, ask yourself, what is it that brings me happiness? What makes me feel peaceful? What makes me feel excited? You know, whether it's going for walks or going to the gym or reading a book, whatever it is, sometimes just disconnect from the phone, disconnect from social, just kind of like, even if you can give yourself an hour to be away from your phone and just take time for you, it's so important. You know, go for a walk, step into nature, any of those things. Like, just ask yourself what makes you happy, what makes you feel at peace, whether it's a bubble bath or whatever, you know, ask yourself, make a list and make sure that every day you are taking time for yourself and disconnecting, because this is how we recharge and bounce into the world and, you know, just have that healthy balance in life. So definitely take time for yourself and disconnect because it's healthy. We need to recharge. Sixth one I have is spending time with your family and friends. And I always knew this was important, but I really realized the importance of this once I moved to Florida and got settled in within the first few months. You know, I was born and raised in Jersey, and at 24 I left and came to Florida. And, you know, I realized like, wow, like, you know, of course I miss my family, my friends. I miss that time with them. And, you know, my people are still there, but it's different, you know, over the phone versus in person. And, you know, of course I'm making friends here and I'm still getting settled in because I moved here back in October. So it hasn't even been a year yet. It'll almost be a year though, which is crazy. But, you know, with the pandemic and everything going on, it's been a little challenging to make friends. But I'm meeting people here and I love it. I'm a very outgoing, I'm an extrovert. Like I love meeting new people and stuff like that. So this is like one of the things that like I'm still trying to like adjust to down here, is just establishing my new life. But, you know, really spending time with my family and friends, I realize, you know, how important that is. Like, you do need to take time for yourself and disconnect, but also don't isolate yourself. You know, your family, you know, it's so important to stay connected with them. You know, I miss my parents and my brother so much. And, you know, sometimes I'm not the best with like phone calls because I get so busy or whatever, I'm tired. But every time I talk to my family, I feel like refreshed and I feel happy and excited, you know, because truthfully, you know, family is important. You know, they're always there for you. My cousins, you know, we stay in touch for the most part. Like our girls have a group chat, and my guy cousins, like I stay in touch with as well. You know, community is important, and family is always going to be there for you for the most part. I know some situations are different, but same thing with friends. You know, even though I don't see some of my close friends anymore, like as much as I used to, because I'm in a different state, you know, we all stay in touch. Text, FaceTime, you know, the best we can, because, you know, we're all busy and we have our own lives. But, you know, having your friends is important too. Instead of isolating yourself or whatever the case is, you know, make time for your friends and spend time with your friends, because, you know, your homies are always going to be there for you too, for the most part. And, you know, go out and do fun things and just surround yourself with a good community. It makes you feel better. And, you know, unfortunately, a lot of people, you know, aren't blessed to either have those relationships with their parents or siblings or even friends too. So wherever you can find a solid community that, you know, will be there for you, find that. You know, it's important to have those people in your life. My seventh one is a big one. If you're not happy, make adjustments. So I used to be the culprit of this. I'd be like, oh, I'm not happy, like, and I would dig myself in a hole. And then I finally realized, okay, I'm in charge of my happiness. Why am I doing this whole woe is me? Like, if I'm not happy, I gotta make adjustments. And I've done that throughout the last few years. Like, if something is not making you happy, remove it. If you know something that'll make you happy, add it to your life. It's really that simple. And I feel like some of us don't really get how simple it is. Like, we choose to just like torture ourselves almost. And it's like, no, like, if you're not happy, make adjustments in your life. If there are certain goals you want to establish, make the adjustments in your life to get, achieve those goals that are going to make you happy. It really is that simple. So, I encourage you guys to just kind of like take a moment and write down a list of things that make you happy or things that are making you happy and start getting rid of that stuff. It really is that simple because your happiness is so important to living a happy and healthy life. So this is a big one. My 8th one is listening to your body. And I truly did not understand this until this year when I was diagnosed with lupus back in March. Your body literally will tell you when something is wrong. And it's your job to pay attention to those signs. I mentioned in my lupus podcast episode where I was getting like symptoms for months and I just kind of kept like pushing it off. I was like, it's fine, like I'll be fine. And things gradually got worse. And long and behold, found that I had lupus, right? And I realized, wow, like I was ignoring, like my body was crying for help and I was just like, it's fine, it'll be fine. And I tried to fix it and no, I really needed to seek professional help in this situation. So listen to your body. If your body is, you eat something and you don't feel good after, listen to your body because your body's telling you, hey, I don't like this. This isn't good for me. Same thing with the people you hang out with. If your body, and I know you guys know what I'm talking about. Like you could be in a group of people, a crowd of people, or with a group of people and you feel, it's almost like your body's like rejecting wanting to be in these people's presence. Listen to your body. Your body literally speaks to you. Your body tells you things. So pay attention to, what your body is trying to tell you. Take time to nourish it. Make time for your health. Feed your body good things. Read more, feed your mind good things. Everything goes hand in hand. Like your mind and your gut are connected. So listen to your body because this is your temple. This is your home. This is where you live. So, don't torture it. Don't feed it bad things, like take care of yourself. My 9th one is meditating and being still. I'm going to tell you right now, this is one that I've learned how important it is, but I'm still working on this because I, for some reason, have a hard time being still. And meditating is not that easy for me because my brain is always generating thoughts, always. To the point where I'm like, oh my gosh, can you shut up, brain? Like on overload. And I find myself, when I'm meditating or whatever, like I will drift off and think of something else. So I am still working on this. Any recommendations you'll have, please let me know because I really want to get better at meditating. But I also do know how important this is and to be still because, when your emotions are on overload or your brain's on overload, like you can really set yourself into like an anxious state or a panic, have a panic attack and it's not good. So I encourage meditating and being still because kind of like take like a 5-minute break, just like be quiet and just rest and just listen to the sounds around you or go on YouTube and put on a meditation video and just lay down and just kind of relax for a little bit. I do believe this takes time, the whole meditation process, and it is beneficial though. Like it takes time, but it is super beneficial. So I'm working on this, but this is definitely something that I've learned that I need to incorporate more in my life because it could be life-changing. My 10th one is reading and listening to podcasts. And I have spoken about this before in my previous podcast, but feeding your soul is so important. And I mentioned this before, but this one specifically is in regards to reading and podcasts. So I'm getting much better at this. Again, this goes back to just taking time for yourself. Reading is so important. I have so many self-help books and I read the Bible and tracts from my church and they help so much. Like sometimes, I've noticed I could be scrolling on social media for hours. And I'm like, I'm wasting so much time. Like, why don't I fill my brain with good stuff? And reading always makes me feel better. And just like a way to escape and just kind of like feed my brain, positive things. And just, reading motivates me too. It helps me want to be a better person, especially when I read the Bible and stuff. I'm like, oh, I want to, yes, like this is the person I want to be. I want to connect more with God. And I feel the difference when I'm connected to him and when I'm not. So reading is super important, whether it's reading, spiritual things or self-help books or comic books or, fiction books, whatever it is, just whatever makes you happy, makes you feel good, definitely read, because it's good. You need to fill your mind with positive things. Sometimes social media can just be too much. So I highly encourage reading. And if you're not much of a reader, listen to podcasts or audiobooks. Podcasts, honestly, I love podcasts. Like, I listen to a bunch of other podcasts too. And I feel like podcasts have been the game changer, because you could literally listen to an episode on the way to work, on a long drive. And don't get me wrong, I love jamming to music, but sometimes I just want to listen to something encouraging or motivating. And that's what the podcasts are for. Like, if you're not much of a reader, listen to podcasts, because I'm telling you, these are just as powerful as well. Feeding your soul is super, super important, and you don't realize, when you listen to a lot of this, the music, a lot of it's kind of garbage. I mean, honestly, it's like going into your subconscious, and it's going to have you think a certain way. So when you feed your mind with, reading good things or listening to motivating and inspiring podcasts, it's going to want you to change certain things. It's going to motivate you to want to strive for certain goals. And this is the truth. There are some good podcasts that I tuned into. I think you're typing motivational podcasts, and they're snippets of different speakers, and they've literally made one episode on it, and it's different clips, and it's motivating and inspiring stuff. And it's so nice because they put that music that gets you going and pumped, and it just motivates you. And I'm like, wow, if I would have listened to a song versus this, the way I would have felt after this would have been so different. At least I spent 10 minutes listening to something to motivate me versus just listening to a song but getting lost in my head or whatever the case is, my thoughts. So highly encourage reading and listening to audiobooks or podcasts, because they are super helpful. Again, feed your soul, because this is so crucial. My 11th one is a big one that I am still working on, but I've definitely come a long way. Learning to trust in God and not self, and learning to let go. I mentioned earlier, I don't know if I did mention this earlier, but I'm the type of person that likes to control things, in the sense where I like to have as much control as I can over my life, because I want to make sure everything goes right. And throughout the years, I've realized that's not how life is. God's going to give the best that I need. He's going to give me what he knows will help me become the best version of myself. And most of the time, not saying that I don't want what's best for myself, but sometimes our choices aren't always the best ones. He ultimately knows what's best. So I've been learning, I have to not trust myself, and I really have to trust in God. I'm if I'm going through a hard time, I can't try to find a million different solutions. I can do what I feel will be best, but ultimately God knows what's best for me. So that includes prayer and all of that. And also learning to let go. There's many situations that I have been in where I'm I don't want to let it go. I want to try to fix it, or I want to try to fix them, or, that's in the romantic sense. But a lot of situations that I have a hard time letting go of, especially if something doesn't go my way. I'm no, but it has to go my way. I could fix it. I could do this. And I've learned, girl, you gotta let it go, because it's just not meant to be, or it's not what God wants for you. So this is a lesson that I have learned, and I'm continuing to learn on a daily basis, is to just trust God and not self. Learn to let go and listen to your intuition. My 12th one is standing up for yourself. I've been in many situations where I let people walk all over me, or like I mentioned earlier, let people gaslight me and make me feel like how I felt was wrong. And I was in a situation, actually a few months ago, where I was dating this guy, and my intuition kept telling me this isn't for you, this isn't for you. And things were going great. There was nothing really crazy about it. But there were some things that I noticed I didn't want for myself. And I kind of kept brushing it off, because I was maybe I'm just overthinking. And that person kind of did gaslight a little bit. And I reached a point where I was wait a second. No. I know better. I've been in these situations before. Absolutely not. How I'm feeling is so valid. The things I want, I deserve it. And just because this person can't give it to me doesn't mean I have to stay in this situation. So I, for once, stood up for myself before I got myself into a really deep situation where it would have been harder. I stood up for myself and I basically told the person, hey, this is how I'm feeling. And they really did try to make me feel like I was wrong for feeling how I felt. And I was like, no. I was like, I respect what you're saying, but I also am going to respect myself. And this is how I feel. And this is what I am looking for. And it's okay if you can't give me those things, but I'm going to remove myself from this situation because I'm going to stand up for myself and respect myself. And I felt so empowered after that, and it was the best choice I made. It really was. And I was like, good job, Brie. Like, you did it, girl. You stood up for yourself. So stand up for yourself always. Don't let people walk all over you. And like I said earlier, your feelings matter. Value your feelings and stand up for yourself because, you're your best friend. You have to be there for yourself. You are super important. This right here is another important one. I've been working on this for years, but even more so within this past year, I've really understood the importance of this. Loving yourself, romanticizing your life. This, and I think, unless this is just my For You page, but I've been seeing a lot of things on TikTok that are talking about romanticizing your life, that guy routine, that girl routine. And if those of you know what that is, you know how these people are posting daily vlogs of what they're doing, routines that they're setting for themselves, what they do on a daily basis to focus on them and not let any distractions get in the way. And this, I love that this is a trend because this is so important, learning to love yourselves and romanticize your life. Do what's best for you. Establish routines. Like I mentioned earlier, I have this 2 journals that I'm committed to writing in every day. Actually, I think I got 4. I'm crazy. Okay, so one thing that I've changed in my life recently was journals. So I have a meal prep journal where I prep my meals and write down what I'm going to eat the day before because I know how much I love bad food and my body cannot afford bad food anymore. And I want to be healthy. I want to take care of myself. I want to see if I could try to get my lupus into remission, right? So I have a meal prep journal. I also have a journal planner type thing, and it's like a daily to-do list. So it talks about my goals for the week. Then it talks about my goals for the day, top priorities for the day, any notes or ideas I have. It does a schedule outline, so hourly, and then on the side it has tasks that I need to get done for that day, and then reviewing my day. Then I have another little journal, and it's writing my intentions and reflections. So I start my day writing down my goals for the day, what I'm looking forward to, my mood, how I'm feeling, and what can I do to be my best self. And then I end the day with what brought me joy today, what am I grateful for, what mood am I in, and what did I do well today. And then I have a 4th journal, but this is on my computer, and I guess a diary almost, but I write in this because I'm a very emotional person, and sometimes I feel too much, and I just need to write it out because I know it'll help me not be emotionally impulsive, and it'll just help me process my own thoughts and be okay, what's going on, Brie? So yes, I have 4, and these are 4 books that I have created a habit of just committing to writing in them. And I feel so good. And then I feel off when I miss a day. So, romanticize your life, establish routines. I have routines that I'm setting for myself. I am setting goals for my fitness life because I had to take a step back because of my health. So, and it makes me feel good. It makes me look forward to my day. That's what the whole romanticizing your life is about. Romanticize waking up in the morning, your routine, taking yourself out to eat. I made myself a cup of coffee. This is yummy. I don't like coffee, but a lot of people like coffee. And that's a big thing for them. So just romanticize your life. Love yourself. Make the best out of every moment. Be excited every day. That's what romanticizing your life is. It's doing things that make you happy, that are helping you work towards your best self. And you're not relying on anyone for your happiness. Create your own happiness because you are your best friend. And at the end of the day, all you have is you, your mind, your thoughts. So you want to make sure that you're taking care of yourself and enjoying life. no matter what's going to happen in your outside world and in the environment, that you still will remain foundationed and stable. My 14th one is spending time in nature. This is a really big one. For me personally, I feel like I'm connected to God when I'm in nature. There's just something about being outside and just soaking in the air and the sun, just taking it all in, that is so healing. I mentioned before how, I moved to Florida for that very reason. I just wanted to be in like the sunshine state. It's always sunny, it's warm. I can go out to the beach whenever I want, any time of the month, and not freeze. And I love the beach. I feel God's presence there. I just love being outside. I feel calm. I feel peaceful. And I'm a very outdoorsy person. I like to go on adventures and do outdoorsy stuff. So I encourage, spending time in nature. Go for walks, go for runs, ride a bike, start rollerblading, go fishing, go swimming, whatever it is. Just take time to be in nature, even if it's like 15 minutes or 10 minutes or 5 minutes, reset yourself. This is a great way to just kind of reconnect to the earth and just realize there's so much beauty around us, and we can get so caught up in our day-to-day life. And it's take a breath, look at what's around you. Look at the trees, look at the blue sky, look at the clouds, look at the rain, look at the lightning, whatever it is. Just take time to be in nature because it's super healing. My 15th one is making God a priority in your life. And most people that I connect with on Instagram are religious. Some are not, but whatever this means to you, making God a priority in your life or making your spiritual life a priority, whatever it is, I will say for me personally, this is a game changer because I feel like nothing in my life goes as planned and feels kind of unstable when I'm not making God a priority in my life. And then when I do, I notice how things always feel more peaceful, more calm, and there's a solution to everything. So making this a priority is a big lesson that I've learned throughout the years, and especially this year, being on my own and alone, I realized how important it is to have God in my life, because then I don't feel alone, and I have, so much love from Him, and He's there for me, and He's helping me, and He's providing for me, and, I feel better and at peace when I'm connected to Him and making Him a priority in my life. And I'm still working on that because I easily get distracted. So this is something that is still in the works, but I can honestly say I can feel the difference when He is a priority in my life and when He's not. And that's why I think this is something important to share as something that I'm learning, because this is a game changer. It really is. So I encourage you guys, if you're involved in a church or maybe you've fallen back on church, get back into church, get back into reading, making God a priority in your life, because once you start, it's you can't stop. And when you're very in routine with it and dedicated to making God a priority, you feel so much better. My 16th thing is community, your environment, who you surround yourself with. This is a big thing. You've heard those quotes where they're show me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you are. This is very true. Your environment is really going to impact how you go about your day-to-day life. I've realized that throughout the years. Sometimes you could be around a certain group of people and you're just I don't think I vibe with this. I just don't feel like this is where I want to be. And that's okay. Your environment is key. Who you surround yourself with, your community. You want to make sure you're with people who are uplifting you, supporting you, wanting the best for you and wanting you to be the best version of yourself. People who make you feel good, who make you happy, who make you laugh. These things are important to have in your life. So, and I've learned that because without my friends or my family, I'd be lonely. I wouldn't be happy. Community is so important. It's not good to isolate. Definitely have a strong community because it's important, it's awesome. It's awesome to have people you can go to laugh with and connect with, or, people where you're I feel crappy today. I need a friend to talk to. So make sure that your environment is bringing all that positive energy and good vibras into your life because it is game changing. This is important. You need people who are there for you and on your team. 17. And I laugh because, it's don't let pride get in the way. And for people who know me well, know that I can be prideful. And in the sense of, I don't want help. I won't ask for help. I got it. Don't worry, I'll figure it out. I got it. I don't like to bother people. And that's pride. Like, and I guess this could also tie in with, okay, I let pride get in the way, but I've learned that it's okay to ask for help. And this is something that I learned recently because I've been going through a lot of things in my life, and it's funny because my parents, especially my dad, he'll be like, bro, why don't you tell us these things? Like, we're here for you. Like, he's like, stop letting pride get in the way. And he's right. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I'm like, you know me, like, I just want to figure things out on my own. Like, I got this. I don't want to bother anyone. But that's not okay. Like, don't let pride get in the way. I've also done this in relationships too. You know, I let pride get in the way with some, not all. But I've learned that it's not okay to do. You know, let people help you. People who you know, who tell you, hey, I'm here for you. Believe them when they say that. And, you know, some people may say it and they're really not. And then you move on from that. But if someone's like, hey, I'm there for you. Hey, if you're going through something, talk to me. You know, go to those people. Because I've been the person to just be like, nah, I know they say it, but they don't mean it. Because I did experience situations where people said it and didn't mean it. But that doesn't mean that everyone's going to be like that. And honestly, I probably made things a lot harder for myself because I was like, I got this when I needed my people. So that ties in with the community as well. But don't let pride get in the way is the lesson to take away from here. And to let others help you. Ask for help. It's okay. You know, you can't do everything on your own. And I've learned that. So take that lesson from this. My 18th lesson that has definitely been a hard one for me is learning that people come and go. And that's okay. Throughout my life, I've gone through a lot of friendships. I still have some friends that I've been friends with for years, but this was hard for me because, and I guess that ties in with me having a hard time letting go too, you know, I'm never really on bad terms with anyone ever. Like, if someone and I are on bad terms, it's like very rare because I always try to like find a solution and just fix it. But I have lost friends, and it wasn't necessarily like in a bad way. It was just, you know, people come and go. You know, people come for some seasons to teach you things, and then they're, you know, they've served their purpose and they move on. You know, we outgrow people, and that's okay. That's part of life. And when I've learned that I have to look at situations like, okay, if I meet people and all of a sudden they leave for whatever reason, I can't be like, why people always leave? Like, it's not fair. No, they served their time and their purpose, and God said, okay, we're moving on to the next level of your life, the next stage of your life. And once I finally realized this, I was able to handle these situations differently because I was always holding on to these things. And I'm like, but why did they leave? And it's like, hey, they left because they taught you things, you taught them things, and now it's time to go to the next stage of your life, you know, where they can't be in that stage of your life. So always remember that. People come and go, but it's okay. It is totally okay. This is part of life. You're going to meet people that are going to teach you things, and you're going to meet people that are going to stay there forever. So, changing your mindset. This is my 19th one. You know, how you view life. When you change your mindset and focus on your mental health and changing how you view things, instead of everything being all negative and whatever, when you make it a point to, okay, I want to be more positive. I want to see the good in life. I want to, you know, find the positives in each day. Ask myself what I'm grateful for each day. You know, you're not being naive or blind. You're just saying, hey, this life is crazy. A lot of things are happening, but let me not forget that there's blessings in each and every day. When you change your mindset, it changes how you view life. And I'm telling you, you just attract good things. It's really that simple. Just constant routine of, you know, like the positive affirmations. You know, what am I grateful for today? There's something good in every day. I don't care what anyone says, because there is. And unless you want to be miserable, then that's on you. But if you choose to stay positive despite what's going on, believe me, it is a game changer in how you view life. You realize life is not as stressful as you make it. Now, I'm not going to sit here and be like, yeah, life is great. I'm not seeing anything bad. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, you know, I used to, when I was younger, just always be negative and petty and just, life is hard. And, you know, sometimes I have those thoughts with certain things. But now in my adulthood, like, I've realized, there are good things in every day. There are blessings, hidden blessings in every day, but it's up to me. Am I going to acknowledge it? If not, then yeah, I'm going to be a miserable person. But who wants to be around a miserable person? I don't, and I know you don't. So changing your mindset will change how you view life. Really take time every day to ask yourself what you're grateful for, what good things happened today, because I'm telling you, there is something good in every day. Be a light in this dark world is my 20th one. And this is something that I've always strived to do since I was a little girl. I always felt like I was called to this earth to serve others and to be a light into other people, to make a difference. And, I smile because in my adulthood, like, I'm still doing that. And that's something that I've always stayed committed to and true to is, being a light in this dark world, the best I can be. Like, I'm not perfect. I'm not always like, yeah, everything's great, but I know that because of people that I've spoken to, like, they enjoy being around me. They feel a different energy. They feel positivity. They feel better. And that's what I want. And it's all glory to God because, I know that He makes me feel these things. And I know that He's blessing my life. And even during, like, the bumps in the road of my life or the certain chaotic things that I experience, like, He's still there and I still can see the good in these things. Like when I got diagnosed with lupus, for example, for a while I was, I cried a lot and I was like, why me? Like, this really stinks. Like, my whole life has changed. Like, I can't do things how I used to. And it took a bit, for me to actually take a step back and realize, like, you know what? Like, it happened for a reason. And God knows that I'm apparently strong to handle this. He knows that I will be okay. And who knows, maybe He wants to use it to heal others or to help others or to save others, whatever the case is. So I take my struggles and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be a light in this world. Regardless, I want to show people, like, everything's going to be okay. No matter what you go through, no matter what life throws your way, like, it's not the end of the world. It's going to be okay. And you can help people through your trials. You can help people, overcome things they're dealing with because they can relate to you. So be a light in this world. This world is dark. It's rough out here in these streets. It's bad, but that doesn't mean we have to let it consume us. We can make that difference. We can be a light and help others, give them hope, make them enjoy life again, and let them realize, like, hey, like, life is so good. Like, you got this. Like, be your best self. God loves you. I love you. Like, it's going to be okay. Like, so be a light in this dark world because a lot of people need it. I almost said 21th. That's not even, no. My 21st one, I guess, is, anyway, it's just, trusting the process of life. Life is not always going to go as we planned. That is something I've learned repeatedly because I always like to take control of my life and try to plan things, and they never worked out all those things how I wanted them to. But I've learned to let go and trust the process. All curveballs in life are meant to take us where we're supposed to be. Like I mentioned before, the whole lupus thing, like, instead of it knocking me down, I realized, okay, there's a purpose behind this. Me failing out of my RN program and becoming an LPN, there was a reason for that. And now look where I am, thriving in Florida as an LPN. I have a great job. I get paid well. And yes, I do plan on going back for my RN. But the point is, like, I still accomplished the goals I wanted to. It was just a different path. So just trust the process, and always remember, any trial you're going through, instead of like, oh, I'm going to be defeated, or, oh, why me? Like, say, hey, okay, this is happening for whatever reason, but I'm going to trust it because I'm going to get out of this. You're not going to stay stuck in that situation forever. There's a reason. It's taking you to where you're supposed to be. There are hidden designs behind the curveballs. My 22nd one is to stay true to you and your values and don't change for anyone. Ask yourself who you are, who do you want to be, what do you believe you deserve, and so on, and stick to that. Don't let anyone change, all those things that you believe about yourself, that you believe in general. Don't, because when you do, you're going to attract the people that do not belong in your life. And this is something that I've learned the hard way. I finally realized, if I stay true to me and my values, I'm going to be surrounded by people that are supposed to be in my life. I'm going to naturally attract those people. So stay true to you guys and your values and what you believe in. Don't compromise who you are for nothing, for nobody, nada. Number 23 is being open to love and don't let your heart get hardened. And this is something that, unfortunately, I am still working on. Definitely have come a long way, though. I was very much bitter when it came to love in the romantic sense, and finally, I am not that bitter or hardened, but I still struggle with certain things because, I still have some scars, but I'm working through those, and I definitely am more open to love than I've ever been before. And I give people opportunities, and I allow myself to just have an opportunity and just, get to know someone. And that's how you figure out what you like and what you don't like. And you just never know what can come out of a situation. So be open to love. I heard someone say, they're not sure if true love exists. And it broke my heart because, I used to believe that too. And although I still struggle with wondering if I'll find, my true love or whatever, I was like, no, true love does exist. Love does exist. And unfortunately, we live in a society where toxic love is normalized and a lot of people are broken. And unfortunately, it's harder to find love, 100%. But don't doubt that you won't find it. When you take time to heal yourself and to be the best version of yourself and do all these things that I've been, covering in this episode, you're going to attract what God wants for you. You will have true love. So don't let your heart get hardened. Don't be bitter. Guard your heart, though. Don't put yourself in situations you shouldn't be in because you're going to hurt yourself. But trust that you will find true love. And you will know. They say you will know. And although I have not experienced that yet, I do know that when I meet my person, I won't feel anxious. I won't feel stressed or confused. I will feel calm, happy, and safe. That I do know. So be open to love because it exists. Number 24, move out of your hometown. Let me tell you, y'all need to move out of your hometown if you haven't already. Moving to Florida has been the best thing I ever did for myself. And don't get me wrong, I miss my family and friends. But what I mean by this is when you take yourself out of a familiar environment, step out of your comfort zone, you grow so much. I have grown so much since I moved here in October, and now we're in August. I've grown so much. I've experienced so many things that have been, amazing and things that haven't been. But the point is, I've grown so much, and I'm enjoying life. I'm learning how to romanticize my life. I'm learning how to love myself. I'm learning my likes and my dislikes, things I enjoy, things I don't enjoy. I'm thinking about my future. What do I want for my future? Where do I see myself the next 5 years? Am I going to get married? Am I going to have kids? Whatever it is. I'm excited for life. And when you stay in your hometown, you're kind of sheltered, and you can get, you might, I don't know, you think that that's all there is to life, but there isn't. When you travel, when you step out of your hometown and just explore the world, you realize how big the world is, and it just gets you excited. It makes you want to accomplish so many things and set so many goals for yourself and just enjoy life. There is more to life than your little town. Trust me. Not saying you can't stay in your hometown, because some people do like that, but I encourage you guys to move out of your hometown and take a risk and kind of just step out of your comfort zone and explore new things, because I'm telling you, not only are you going to meet a bunch of new people with different mindsets, but you're also going to grow yourself. And it's just an exciting feeling. I don't know, when I talk to people about my journey in Florida, they're like, you could tell you're so happy and excited despite everything you've been going through. I'm like, I know, because it's true. Despite all the curveballs, I love living here. I love Florida so much, and Florida feels like home to me. So I definitely encourage you guys to move out of your hometown. If you're on the fence about it, just do it. I'm telling you, best decision you ever make. Yes, you'll feel lonely at times and things will kind of feel off, but that's because it's unfamiliar. But you want to step out of your comfort zone and take a risk, because that's how you grow. It's part of life, and you won't regret it, I'm telling you. And my last thing that I have learned, and I'm still learning, is to not be hard on yourself and to grow from your mistakes. I am not going to sit here and pretend like I am perfect, because I am not. And I've made that very clear in previous episodes too. I have made a lot of mistakes in life, and I used to hold myself hostage. I don't know, to my mistakes. I'd be beating myself up mentally, like, look at you, like, why'd you do this? You're a terrible person. Like, just really beating myself up verbally and being hard on myself. And I realized, no, like, Brie, love yourself. Like, acknowledge your mistakes, but don't be hard on yourself. Learn from your mistakes, grow from them, and, you know, be accountable. Be like, okay, that's not cool, or I don't like how this made me feel. I'm gonna be better. You know, we're all growing, we're all healing from things. You know, don't be hard on yourself. Like, it's already tough out here. You know, be gentle with yourself and just take care of you, love you, and just always strive to be the best version of yourself. So those are the 25 things that I've learned so far and that I'm continuing to learn. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode and can take away a lot of good things from this. I definitely, being able to go through this list, just like, I'm like, wow, Brie, like, you're learning a lot in life. Like, you got this. And I say the same thing to you guys too, you know? You guys got this, and don't give up, and just continue to strive and be the best version of yourself, and, you know, take time for you, stand up for yourself, romanticize your life, listen to your body, you know, stop worrying about things that are out of your control, learn when to say no, you know, be open-minded, be, you know, just enjoy life, guys, and, you know, make the things that are important to you a priority. Just focus on making your environment the most positive, healthiest environment it can be, and surround yourself with that good community, those people that love you and support you. And I'm telling you, like, don't sweat the small stuff. Like, honestly, this is all these things that I've learned. I would tell my younger self all of these things. Like, listen, girl, don't stress. Don't worry about things. Like, just focus on you. Don't sweat the small stuff. Surround yourself with good people, and so on. Like, life is what we make it. And I know I always, you know, would always try to make my life harder than it had to be for I don't know what reason. And growing up, I'm realizing, like, no, girl, that's not what it's about. Life's already hard. Don't make it harder for yourself. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and stay tuned for the next episode coming out soon. That will be a Q&A. Love you guys, and I hope you guys have an amazing weekend and a great start to your week, sending those good vibras your way. And yeah, keep striving to be the best version of yourself. Bye, guys.